So we have one person watching. Certainty exists. That's it. Anyway, big channel, big stuff happening here. Yeah. Anyway, how you doing?
Got a blizzard going on outside right now.
Yeah.
It's like I walked into a Thomas Kincaid painting, which I love. It's great. But because
Oh,
of that,
it's
I'm not
nice.
at my actual studio right now. I'm just in my
Yeah.
basement. So sorry about that. But otherwise, I don't know. Kind of happy right now.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Trees are covered with frosty snow out here. It quit snowing for a minute though. It was snowing like crazy before. I'm doing okay. I'm dealing with some issues, blindness issues and stuff like
Oh gosh.
that. But
I'm so
other than
sorry.
going blind, I'm okay.
Thank God for irony.
I know. Yeah.
Usefully distancing.
I mean, I deserve less than I get. So anyway, as usual, my description has a link to your channel and I think one of your blogs. I might have taken that one down. Your educational website, sciencesweird.com, is it? Yes, sciencesweird.com, and a link to your document where you're going to solve this big problem we have that I'm having particularly, and so I can bring that up. I put it into a Word doc and I can put it on the page. What will it take to solve this young Earth creationist problem? And I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I've been doing this for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And my feeling is I want off this goddamn planet. I'm done. I don't think there's any hope. I think we're going in the wrong direction, and I don't know of any way to turn that around at all.
When you say that, do you mean like civilization as a whole, or are you restricting this right now to the creationist evolutionist dialogue?
A little of both. Yeah, a little
Sure.
of both.
Sure.
Yeah, and the two things are highly related. Basically, if we can't agree on science facts, I don't think we can ever hope to agree on anything, and I don't think we ever are. And I think we live in a third world country right now where something like damn close to 50% of the people are willing to believe that the Earth is 6,000 to 10,000 years old and that we were, created in a flash of light by God. And that's just average people. And there's a bunch of polls on it, and I don't know which way it's going overall. Now, I heard something hopeful the other day that it's going down in youth. Basically, I think youth might be our salvation, but I don't know. And I see us as a scientifically illiterate country. We have some of the best scientists and the best research in the world, but our population, our masses are illiterate. Not only are they illiterate, but they have a low interest quotient, which is what IQ really means. They don't care about the details, and they're not excited about learning things. And it's just, I think it's a mess. And that sounds pretty, I think I've been beaten down in the last 6 months pretty severely on this topic. My hope is to put out the information in a like you're doing with your Science is Weird education plan, right? I want to. My hope is to put out the information about evolution in a digestible form for the masses, and I think that's a worthwhile endeavor for me to spend the rest of my life doing. but I pretty much can't wait to get off this planet.
Well, I mean, the
Sorry.
cold release of death, it's nice when that can actually serve, right, as the
Yeah.
sort of thing to
Yeah.
look forward to. The Buddhists maybe have a point about this, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm tired of the wheel of samsara. I'd like to get off. I'm enough of a nihilist that there are lots of moments when that seems comforting to me too.
Yeah.
Uh, I was can I issue a total and utter rebuke to your fears and your worries about this.
Yes, please, please. Give me.
I mean,
I'm out
almost.
here. I don't know if you can see, but I'm on a ledge. Behind
Oh,
me is like a
oh yeah.
30-story drop. Yeah, talk me up. Yeah.
I mean, I'll say that, like, I don't disagree with any of the fears that you have, right? Like, I have all the same fears, and it's those fears that propel me in doing the work that I do, mostly in education, right? My whole big thing is that I'm a co-founder of a project to start new kinds of schools, new kinds of homeschooling. And we are embarked in this. We're well underway in this, and that's how I deal with these fears and frustrations of mine. Is that I align myself with what I think are the best projects that people are working on to help fix these
Yeah.
things,
I do
which is
that
good,
too.
which is
I guess.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, obviously,
That's
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 yeah,
that's where my
that's
hope
what you're
comes
saying.
from. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Do what I do.
Um, don't curse the darkness, light a candle, as Carl Sagan quoted the Chinese proverb of. But I'll say that the other thing that I think makes me not feel as bad about that is, like, when was it ever that the majority of a population was actually scientifically interested and scientifically literate?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I
I
just
mean, it
don't
wasn't,
get
right? Like,
that.
think of like ancient Greece and ancient Rome, right? Like, oh, you have like
Yeah.
the high point of rationality. You probably had the majority of people thinking the stupidest dang things that we would laugh at right now. And a lot of those people would include some of the smartest people in the society, right? They're just totally out of whack with
Right.
that. We remember the high
Yeah.
points, but we forget that those are also like candles in the darkness. Think of the Enlightenment, you think of the Renaissance, right? Terrible, horrible, horrible times. So yeah, like the mythology that people mistake their mythology for reality is the norm across history.
Yeah.
Now, what might be new about this is that, and I'm spitballing this, I'm not a historian of this, not really a historian at all, but is that you maybe didn't used to have mythology that is presenting itself as
Yeah.
science and has this sort of patina, this illusion, this covering of science, and that is then also sort of walled itself off such that it's saying like we have the true science, and if you question this science, like then you're putting your immortal soul at risk or whatever. Which, by the way, from a meta perspective, and this is the sort of thing that's hard to convey sometimes to people who are inside of this perspective, but that's a red flag in science. When you say this
Yeah.
is totally correct, and if you get this wrong, then you are getting like you are morally culpable. Like that is a sign of anti-science. But again, right, like even the scientific method and this idea of the dispassionate pursuit of real truth, no matter how horrible it feels at first, is the sort of thing that maybe like 0.001% of all humans have ever been on board with in the first place. This is absolutely nothing like the human norm in what cognition is like. And we are asking people this is a big ask to people when we say that you should get on board with science. That's not what humans are,
Yeah.
right? Like we are monkeys. We are monkeys that tell stories. This whole like modern philosophic scientific operating system is bolted on at the last second. It doesn't fit with the rest of it. It's really hard to actually get into it. You and I are, to whatever extent it's good for us, we are lucky that we are actually in this sort of thing. And this is a hard stance that I'll take on this. Right, here's one of my first hot takes of the day is that I think that we are shooting ourselves in the face. That's the
Okay.
evolution excited community when we assume that other people should naturally come along to the idea of evolution because like, well, it's true. It has all the evidence. What the heck? Sorry, I'm a teacher, and so I'm appearing online, and so I'm not going to swell. What the devil are we thinking? Where do we get off in our evolutionary theory, thinking that That is the way that human cognition works. That's stupid. If we want to
Okay.
take this
Yeah.
seriously, if we actually want to get this right, and to, I'm going to say the word win a lot, I think, but whenever I say it, it should be understood that I'm putting it in quotation marks. They have this sort of ironic distance from it. If we want to win evolution, if we want to actually succeed, not at like showing that it is true, but that, but also getting the majority of human beings to come along with us,
Yeah.
majority here, right? We can play with whatever numbers that we want. If we don't want to be at this stupid stalemate that we've been at for the last few decades, then we need to take human nature seriously. And we're
Yeah.
not doing that right now. We are lurching forward like idiots with this illusion of, well, people are rational because I'm so rational. It's like, what? Okay,
Right.
sorry. Now I'm
Right.
repeating
Right.
myself. We need to lose
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
It's killing us.
Yeah. I guess we'll address this first. There's one big problem, and that's this. The moment you put millions of years
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
forward, you must
Yeah.
put death before sin,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that is a sect, a Christian sect idea.
Hmm.
That's basically the doctrine of the evangelicals right now, and it's spreading. That doctrine is kind of spreading, and they hate the old Earth evolutionists,
Hmm.
which see Genesis as a metaphor. So this is
Hmm.
like when you talk about overcoming
Yeah.
and getting them to actually consider the evidence and start to change their mind, they have to put their religion right first
Yeah.
before you're going
Yeah.
to open their minds to science at all. And I think that that's
Yeah.
probably the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And I think this is driven by a number of things. There's always bad players out front, that are the most visible and popular. And these bad players want to be right against the masses, basically, or against some conspiracy. So you got some bad players out there that are stirring this up. But then you have the masses that are buying into it, and they're buying into it primarily because they accept this Genesis thing as having to be
Hmm.
literal, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, and
Yeah.
I didn't see that in your paper, and I was uh, so
No, I think you're right.
so that's
Here, so
yeah.
okay, let me throw it into the chat right now. You asked before how long I've been at this. So the answer is apparently 24 years because I just threw in,
Oh,
if you can share that
really?
with your audience, on and off, right? Like I haven't done much of the, I was in it way before that, and I haven't done that much over the last couple of decades, but I've only been getting back into this the last few months. I don't know, last year or something like that. Pretty hardcore. I don't know.
2006. Oh
Maybe
my
5 years. I don't know. Yeah, so I wrote this. I was a columnist for my student newspaper in college, which, to be fair, was the most widely read student newspaper in America at the time. Don't know what it is now, but I wrote this unpopular article. But I want to kick back for this one, titled "Evolution Opinions. Evolution needs new tactics to sway American hearts." And in it, I make this point that part of the reason that young Earth creationism is popular is because it's a more appealing moral story than evolution is, or at least it is in some ways that are immediately apparent to people. Right? We can get more complex in this, and maybe that's an important thing to do. But one of the points I remember, I haven't read this for a couple decades, but one of the points that I remember making in that piece is that an easy way I thought for my secular readers to see this is that it's really easy to get a concern for animal welfare out of the Genesis account in a way that is maybe harder from a naive reading of the evolutionary account. When you have the evolutionary account,
Okay.
you have nature red in tooth and claw. You have, right, like this idea that like the creative engine of nature involves destruction and horror and death. That the only way that you get,
Mm,
like, the what's the phrase, the legs of the gazelle are carved by the teeth of the cheetah. Right?
yeah.
And there's something kind of cool and kick butt about that. And there's also something dark and horrible about that. So, like if I want to like
Yeah, but that's
defend my meat eating to my friends, that I eat meat, I can say, well, it's just the natural way of things. But if you're like a strict young earth creationist, and I want to emphasize that most young earth creationists are not vegetarians, but I know of the young earth creationists who are vegetarians, they have a really easy time saying like, well, yeah, like the creation is supposed to be nonviolent. Death
Right.
comes from sin. Like we're supposed, like the whole flipping point of Christianity is to take us back to that Edenic, that Edenic state. And yeah, like in like the New Jerusalem and the that descends from heaven, like people are not going to be eating animals in there. And so yeah, sorry, this is all just to say that, as you said, like the sin, the death, that this death should follow from sin, not the other way around, is that we
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
live in a good world. And if we want to,
Yeah.
and this is, you're totally right that I didn't include this in my piece, my little essay at there, that if we want to make if we want to help young earth creationists see reality, see the real story of the world, what we need to do is moralize it, because people are incurably moral monkeys. And we need to feel like that our beliefs are aligned with what is morality. It's really hard for most people to hold those things in tension. So yeah, how do we do that? Is it, I think an important question that I not addressed in this essay.
Well, we could return to that a little bit later, but
Sure.
you're pretty much, when it comes to evolution, the way you described it, you're looking at the hole instead of the donut. You're looking at the death
Hmm.
part instead of
Hmm.
but we can get into that. The thing about the death part is that that is letting go of your ego.
Hmm. Yeah.
And there is a much more important part of evolution called birth. And we
Hmm.
can get into the how that is a real positive way to look at life in the world and the universe and spirituality and everything. But anyway, back to your doc.
Can I just restate what you're saying? Because I really like what I'm really liking what I'm
Okay.
getting from it is that one of the moral things that evolution can get us is the sort of this easy way of letting go of your ego, to recognize, for example,
Yeah.
that the universe is big and old, and you are small and young and will die tomorrow. And
Right.
there is this continuation of birth that comes on the heels of death. Even the bad things
Yeah.
in
Right.
the end can be part of what is bringing in the good things. I'm being blithe about this, or being too simple about this. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's great. I think it's great. I
Right.
think there's a mature view on that we can call people to, and maybe is an important part, and that I've never heard anybody else talk about before, about
It's
like
really
how we need to
important.
win this fight. Is like by that. It's great. It's
Right.
great.
If every human that was ever born were still alive, we would not. You and I would not be alive. You and I would not
Yeah.
possibly be alive on this earth. And there is a turning of the seasons and the seasons of life.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get that as
I
another
have
subject
friends who
that
are in
we.
the anti-death movement, right? Who want to
Yeah,
actually transcend this movement,
my
whatever.
sons.
Are they? Yeah, yeah. I know they're
Yeah,
crazy. They're like, no, we all gotta die. What do you want? What do you want?
I
Eventually
know.
protons are going to decay, probably. Eventually, like, we're all gonna die if it's a trillion years from now, or if it's a weekend, next weekend, right? Like, gotta
Right.
bite the bullet at the beginning, which is a scary
Yeah.
existential thing for a lot of people, and I put a lot of work into doing that.
Yeah. Anyway, so you want to look at your doc? You want to
I
look at the doc?
do.
Look at the doc.
I have it printed out here, so I will awkwardly be the guy
Oh,
who's
that's
waving his papers when doing a podcast or whatever this is. Is this a
that is
podcast,
not the
Mike? Does
doc.
this count as a podcast? When I talk to people about like, oh, I did a blank on Sunday. Does podcast, is that a word that I can use?
I don't know why, but typically no, we don't. We'll refer to podcasts as what you can watch on Apple's podcast app, right?
Okay, I guess that makes
So,
sense. I guess that makes
yeah,
sense.
that would just
Yeah,
be there would be no video in a podcast typically, right? It's just your
I
thing.
feel like that's actually bringing
I
to
don't
earth
know.
now. I feel like actually a lot of the
What's
podcasts
that?
that I listen to, I feel like a lot of the podcasts that I listen to actually do have video versions. They're very boring. It's just like, Two Faces or whatever. But like I
Yeah,
can watch those on YouTube and listen to the podcast. Okay, anyway.
yeah. It's called a live stream instead of a podcast. Anyway,
I want to apologize to everybody for the terrible spelling errors that I've made on here. But I always had a hard time with the word empirically. I misspelled it a bunch of days.
I
Can I,
fixed that for you. You don't have to admit to it.
oh,
I already fixed it.
oh
Yeah.
no! See, it's misspelled on the second line too. I misspelled it
Oh
every
shit! I
single
missed it then.
time that I used it. It's really bad. Yeah, I mean, I was consistent in my error, so I guess there's some virtue in this.
Oh
Yeah,
my
please don't head to
goodness.
dictionary. I feel so bad about that. Here, can I run through the what I see as the problem that I'm trying to fix with this document?
Yeah.
So I feel like we're losing. I think there's an argument which to say like there's a stalemate that's happened, in which case, over the last few decades we haven't really moved the number either direction on the like how old is the Earth question for most Americans. I'm focused on Americans here, not because I don't love the other peoples of the world, but because I don't know the numbers on those things, and I do know the numbers a little bit more on the American side. Gallup has been good for this. Um, we're stuck. We're stuck. We're stuck. We're stuck. And in fact, like it's like a World War I sort of stuckness, where like the longer you stay stuck, the harder it is for anybody to ever do anything. And I guess like my dark fear might be expressed as that we are actually entombing ourselves in this stupid divide. And
Yeah.
we need to change this fast. I don't know. I don't know how rational that fear is, but most of my fears aren't all that rational. So I guess I'm big on that. And I feel like what most people are doing for this debate is actually like damning us. It is counterproductive. We are hurting our chances. We are doing people on our side specifically. I don't know the other side as well. People on our
Yeah.
side are doing the work of young Earth creationists and strengthening it in the ways that we are arguing against it. And I feel like we should just like every time someone on the internet, someone on like the subreddit that I love, r/debate evolution, like does any of these things that is demonstrably against our interests, like somebody should like donate $1 to a young Earth creationist cause, because like that is exactly what they are doing from
Okay.
this. I every time I see
Yeah.
this, I'm like, why are you helping them? Okay, so I feel like I am a science teacher online. I am not an expert on any of the things that I talk about, but I've been a young Earth creationist before I got into my excitement about science, about taking science seriously when I was in middle school by becoming a young Earth creationist for a year. Got out of it pretty quick, but when I was there, I got excited about this whole idea that, oh wow, like facts, like evidence, like you could use evidence to like prove things that are true, and those things that are true could be big and huge and important and wonderful. And then I got out of young Earth creationism, and I'm like, wow, like you can like dismantle and make really problematic some philosophies that you hold just like with little bits of evidence. And like
Right.
that was my waking up to like the, I don't know, enlightenment, I suppose you might say, at least the scientific
Okay.
method. And I have been in love with evolutionary theory for decades because of that. And especially like going through here, I got some books here. Um, Here's Robert Wright's The Moral Animal, where this is my favorite take
Oh,
on
cool.
evolutionary psychology. It's so good. We are but dumb monkeys. And then more recently, Height's The Righteous Mind, Why Good People Are Divided by Politics and Religion. I feel like reading books like that and those has shown me that, oh yeah, like the naive way that people argue about this, especially online, but not just online, is really counterproductive. We're not taking human nature
Yeah.
seriously. We're not taking human psychology seriously. And but there's a better way. There's so much a better way. And there's been these other books. The one that I know that I've recommended to you before is Bogosian and Lindsay's How to Have Impossible Conversations, a very practical guide. The earlier one that I have found myself quoting more and more, which I find I don't like the title of it, A Manual for Creating Atheists by Peter Bogosian. Um,
Okay.
it's also not as well written as his second book, which is really quite well written. But this is the sort of book where like I have to hide the book right when certain friends like come around, right? Like my parents come by, like I reverse the book on the bookshelf or something like that. My parents are ministers.
Oh my.
I don't think I do that. I know I don't do that anymore, but I used to. It's an embarrassing title, but like these provide a method or pieces of method for actually changing people's minds, or I should say, helping people change their minds to become closer to what is true, which is like the whole game. And I feel like, dang it, nobody is doing this for the creation evolution debate. I know the creation evolution debate is so 20 years ago, right? It's so like the mid aughts. Look at like a Google Ngram search, and like no one Googles this anymore. Like we are like the least popular people on the internet who care about this on either side of this. But I don't care. It's a thing that I like talking about. I'm going to focus on what I want to
Right.
talk about. And I feel like in the seeds of this, if we can do this right, if we can like actually test out these ideas that I have here and better ideas that other people have, and actually get some flipping evidence for this, this could be a test case for how do you take any kind of kooky theory, be it QAnon, be it like opposition to GMOs, be it AI doomerism on either side. I'm kind of an AI doomer. I shouldn't cite that one. But sure, great, wonderful. Use it against my own beliefs, please. We can use this and we can actually create a method, a recipe for helping people return to reality. So that's the problem. That's the promise. That's why I've been throwing myself into this, even though I have, frankly, probably more important things to do. I can't look away from this.
Okay. Before on this page, one thing I want to address: do not do this, Brandon. Do not dish out scorn to the dicks on our own side.
Tell me about that. Here, well, can I get the context for that, and then you can tell me exactly why not to do it?
Sure.
So it's possible that 90% of young Earth creationists online are really nice people, and I'm not saying this is true. It's possible this is true. They're really nice people, and they are wonderful, and they will have really long, in-depth, rational conversations with you. If this were to be the case, this would not matter for their side, because if 5% of their people are still dicks, and online communities are disproportionately represented by people who are dicks, then all of the attention will be on that 5% of people. You can have the majority of one side be reasonable and wonderful, but if they don't get their loose cannon dick problem in line, then they will fail. They will appear as monsters to the other side. So tell me then why we shouldn't dish out scorn on pro-evolution dicks online.
Because it makes us sound like a bunch of monkeys fighting with each other, for one. Number two, you should show them the same love that you're showing these creationists.
That's good.
Okay. Who have done really egregious things. Like, you have a friend who has done really egregious things and said really horrible things about people. And so even the guys that are nice creationists, I mean, they will occasionally do the same sort of thing. And people that are dicks on our side are usually reacting out of frustration, and they have no obligation to be nice to people that are going to deny all of science and whatever. And we just don't want we don't want to end up with the same kind of infighting that I see among Christians. And that's not going to be productive for this movement at all. You with this document, you have to win us over before we all get together and start winning creationists over. And you're not going to win us over by calling us dicks. So there you go. So stop it.
Okay, good. Here, so can we? So I'm willing to give quite a bit on this, and thank you. And I sort of felt like there's something wrong with my writing scorn there.
Yeah.
So can we sketch out the rest of this and then come back? And if you want to focus exclusively on that, I think that'd be good.
I don't want to focus on that. I just want to. I
think we should. I think we should, because honestly, I think that it's a spot that maybe I'm doing something bad. In. So and I think that there's a lot of truth in what you're saying.
Here you go. If we appeal to emotions, what are we fighting for? We become them. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I totally disagree with that. Oh my gosh, no, wrong. Sorry, skeptic philosophy. I'm going to interpret what you're saying in the following way, and you tell me if I'm wrong about this. That when we argue here, because I just want to, I fear that I'm gonna get some of this wrong. So let me calm down. What I hear when I read that is that we should only make our arguments logical, rational, and evidential. So here, actually, skeptic philosophy, if you'd be willing to tell me if I'm getting that right or wrong, if that's what you're saying, then I can respond to that.
Okay, repeat that again.
So when I read that, if we resort to emotion, we have become like them, or something to that effect. What I hear when I read that is we should limit our engagement with the young Earth creationists to be purely rational, empirical, evidence-driven, logic-driven, and we shouldn't be making any kind of emotional appeals. Like you and I were talking about a minute ago about the
Oh,
like
yeah.
you need to make it. I could have it combine it with a moral cause, and we should basically hear what I actually hear is even more extreme than that. I bet you're not saying that skeptic philosophy, but I hear we should be robots.
No, I would disagree with that. We're
Yeah,
definitely not
yeah,
robots, and that's the thing. I mean, occasionally some of these creationists are going to become really bad players. And I'm going to say
yep, yep,
really egregious things about us.
yeah,
I am human, and I'm going to do that too. And there are times when I get frustrated, like
yeah,
on Saturday Night at the Atheist.
yeah,
And hell, I'm human. If you frustrate me, I'm going to get frustrated. And
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
as far
That's
as
good. That's
judging
good.
people, oh yeah, as far as judging people on either side, we should perhaps not be so judgy. Anyway, overall,
I really appreciate that point. Right? If you
yeah,
frustrate me, I'm going to get frustrated. That's good. I think I'm in danger in this version of this document of calling people to a impossible standard for this. In which case, it's a useless
yeah,
document. Yeah.
we
Second
should not
philosophy
win
says we
people
can
to
liken it to
truth,
things we intuitively
emotion.
understand, but we should not win. We should not win people to a truth for emotion. Skeptic philosophy.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. We can liken it to things we intuitively understand. I totally am about that, but we should not win people. Can you go back to that one?
Oh, okay.
Thanks. But we should not win people to a truth for emotion. Skeptic philosophy, could you give an example of what you mean by that last part? We should not win people
Yeah,
to a truth for emotion. Because I want to understand if I'm going to dish up my disagreement on that, I want to make sure that it's actually something that you're saying and not that I'm imagining. Because this is
yeah. I
obviously a
think
thing that
I'm.
happens a lot online, right? Like we write these like very poetic, beautiful rants against things that it turns out no one actually was advancing.
Right.
Here,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
let me go on, sketch philosophy. Take your time in responding to that, if you'd like. Let me sketch out what I see as the two absolutely necessary things of this, and then a bunch of kind of happy other things. Actually, you know what, Michael? Can I just do the two first things, the numbers one and number two, on this, and then we can come back to the other things, which I think are more fun to talk about later.
Sure, sure, sure,
So the
sure.
first thing is that the thing we need to do is we need to guarantee safety. And the second, I'll just say the second
Okay,
thing. And the second thing is that we need to cultivate relationships with young Earth
okay.
creationists. So the guaranteeing safety is that, yeah, there's this whole Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like if you're trying to convince a person that they're wrong, but also like you are threatening them or mocking them or whatever, like yeah, like you're not going to win. You're not going to win because we're monkeys. Because evolutionarily, your safety has to come before whether you are right or wrong about something. Now,
Before your
obviously,
reason, before
yeah,
reason,
yeah, yeah.
safety before reason.
Now, this is like so hard in the situation that we are dealing with because one, it's like this topic that we're taking on is not just like, do I think it will rain next Wednesday? Right? This is like an
Yeah,
actual, like, ontological, cosmological, moral, existential sort of thing. Who are we? Where did we come from? What is our spot in the universe?
yeah,
And sometimes I've heard people on our side saying, like, well, I just can't. Why are they so dumb? Why don't they understand this? Like, why do they feel threatened by this? It's like, because they're human beings. So what would you expect? And I also feel like there's an irony here that the reason that we are interested in evolution, the reason that I'm interested in evolution, it's not just that it is some other randomly chosen scientific fact that just happens to be true, but because it is this moral existential. It is this existential thing that has moral implications, that has all sorts of implications. Like one of the big things that connects together all the pieces in my flippin' worldview. So to say that yeah, so it makes sense that they would be threatened then. Anyone would be threatened when
yeah,
you call that into question. Now, the thing
yeah,
that we've layered on top of that is this, many decade long, century, at least a century long, right, fight where it's become this tribal belief. And anybody who comes on to, any evolutionist who comes on to one of the creationist subreddits, or any creationist who comes onto one of the evolutionist subreddits, and honestly, like asks questions in good faith,
yeah,
is can guarantee, can all but guarantee that they will be not just disagreed with as a person who's factually wrong about something, but as a stupid person who is
They'll be
ignorant, who's not
discouraged.
only
Yeah.
ignorant, but is like willfully ignorant and is closed-minded, so is morally bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like, so in that situation, in order to make it safe, we have a lot of work to do for that. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is cultivate relationships. That it
Yeah.
is to actually do the kind of like to help somebody change their mind. Man, like it has been shown that that is a thing that you can do in a lot of situations, and obviously not all situations. But even with people with really extreme beliefs, like, literal neo-Nazis, through friendship. But it takes friendship. Friendship is one of the biggest tools that we have. And if you do that through friendship, it has to be an earnest friendship. You can't be using the friendship. I used to be a Christian. I used to be an evangelical Christian. And there's this whole sort of thing of relationship evangelism. I'm putting them in
Yeah.
quotes, but I don't think it's entirely bad. But when it goes wrong, it goes ickily wrong, where it is obvious to everybody involved in that relationship that the friendship is like a pretext for trying to convert the person when you don't really like them, but you're pretending to. It feels icky. It feels creepy. It feels like a multi-level marketing thing, right? Like
Yeah.
that does to friendships. This will do. So you can't do that. You actually have to earnestly like the person. But the nice thing is the people who want to talk about this with us, the people on the other side who want to talk about this with us, is not the majority of the Earth Creationists. They're geeks too. They're argumentative SOBs too. And so like you
Yeah.
can form a friendship. Like most of my friends who live locally in Rochester, Minnesota here are people that I get together with, and we like take long walks around neighborhoods and just find things to argue about. We'll pick like a topic and they'll just like argue it for like an hour as we walk. It's wonderful. I have a group of really close friends. We get together once a month at somebody's house, and we'll pick some political topic and we'll just argue about it. We have Trump voters, we have socialists, we have an anarchist, we have everybody, right? It's great. It's great. So this can be a really wonderful kind of friendship that you can have. You don't have to fake anything, but then like you should get to the point where like you're asking about their kids or their pets
Yeah.
or their
Yeah.
whatever, right? If they're having
The rest of
having
their
a
life.
crappy day, yeah, like that
Yeah.
should happen naturally, unless you're like an android, which case, okay, you know what, you do you, right? We're all different. I have some friends. Okay, that's
Yep.
that's what I think are the two things that if we do not do those things, I think we will never win. And we can talk about all the fun other things, but like I'm interested to see what your audience thinks about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, cultivating. I have cultivated relationships. Two people
Yeah.
come to mind: Sal Cordova and Bread of Life, Rebecca, and we were really personal and close.
Yeah.
And then at some point, they got really pissed off at me and blocked
Mm.
me, and
Mm.
will not, like, Rebecca won't talk to me about spirituality.
Mm.
She'll talk to me about evolution. Sal won't talk to me about anything.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it was all over strong intellectual disagreements, and it was and I have a limited understanding of where I went wrong with them.
Yeah.
Other than
Yeah.
that, I mean, when I get on my streams, I can be pretty reckless about what I say. I do that all the time, and my whole
What have you
family's
said
that way.
about me when I'm not around, Michael?
All horrible things, just horrible things. It's just like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe. I have talked about you so positively to all my friends
Oh, thanks.
and enemies and everybody. Yeah. So no,
Thank
I
you.
haven't done
Thank
it.
you. Thank
You
you.
haven't pissed me off yet, Brandon. Just wait. Don't piss
I
me
mean,
off.
feel free to say
Yeah.
anything. I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah.
might piss you off in a few minutes, actually, about this the
Yeah.
thing that you highlighted in red there.
Oh,
I
okay. Okay.
I am. I know that you've mentioned the Sal situation, and I'm friends with Sal, and
Yeah.
I if you and he both would like, I can ask him too, would like me to it's like broker like a conversation, right? Like moderate a conversation between you. I have a friend who's somewhat famous in evolutionist circles, Jonathan Tweet. He's most famous as the
Okay.
guy who was the project manager for the third edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like my one famous friend. But we met when we were both in Seattle Atheists, and he had just come out with his amazing book, Grandmother Fish, A Child's First Book of Evolution, which is to this day one of, I don't know, like the three best books on evolution, like conceptually best books on evolution. It's for preschoolers, and it does amazing things. I think I mentioned it before, but but he and I actually kind of cooked up this dialogue methodology, a way of having a conversation with someone whom you used to be friends with, or our family with, whatever. Like you kind of had some hard times, and it's this like very sort of like turn-based thing of how to help people talk together. So if you and Sal are ever independently interested in that, again, I can ask him. I'd be delighted to do that with you guys, not recorded, but privately. If that would, I don't know what would come of it. I can't promise anything. I don't promise anything from that. But these kinds of relationships are hard, right? Like this is a sharks and jets sort of situation, Montagues and Capulets. We should expect that these things will be hard, especially when, I don't know, especially how did you guys interact with each other? Through phone calls, through video calls?
Me and Sal?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of private Zoom talks and online talks, and the interactive things were like I was teaching him carbon chemistry at one point, and
Cool.
things of that nature. And then through email, everything went to hell, and it was over this.
Email is the devil.
I know it is. It was over this. Okay, he brought it up on your last talk with him. Is racemization issue where amino acids will flip from one side to the other. And I kept asking, I kept pressuring him to give me his spreadsheet, and he just we just got off on, and then he saw something where I had Amy Newman on, and she was talking about Satan, and he started calling me a Satanist. But anyway, if you brokered anything between me and Sal, it would be a private conversation with me and him, and maybe you moderating. That would bury the hatchet on these emotional issues, because I am somewhat, he hurt me. He hurt my feelings as a friend, because all of a sudden he just turned on me and I could not understand it. I didn't get. And then, of course, I fired back and I hurt him back, right? So it's like, it's like a personal thing. It was just, and it was, I think, kind of sad, because Sel is the one person that I can talk about in detail at a technical level, right? And there aren't many like that. Rebecca, I can't. Nobody else knows enough. So anyway, there's that. So
thanks for sharing that.
I'm willing to admit fault and move on, that sort of thing. So
hey, philosophy skeptic, if I'm remembering his name correctly, did he respond to or give an example for the thing earlier that I brought up for that? Now I'm forgetting, because this is of the long-term memory of a goldfish.
I don't. Yeah, I know. Truth is void of emotion, bias. Okay, I don't think he did. He said he could come on. I don't like climate change. Let me see here.
I also don't like climate change.
I get distracted by chat. Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, he said he'd be happy to come. He'd be happy to come on and talk about it if we get time later. We could do that. So
I don't have. I only have the next 39 minutes, so I don't have a lot of that. But if we do, and philosophy skeptic, if you're still here, I'd actually really enjoy doing that. I'll say that it's possible that you and I don't disagree at all on this. I'll say that, like, my big thing that's taken me a surprisingly long time to realize is that if we don't, as monkeys, as particularly smart or stupid monkeys, we it's like emotions overall. It's emotions under all. It's if we don't pay attention to the emotions, like, we can't actually do like the work of logical disagreement. We can think that we can, but then emotions will get in the way of it, because those evolved first. Those are hotter, Daniel Kahneman's systems 1 and system 2 sort of thing. Emotional primacy, if you want to talk about Robert Zience's ideas of emotional primacy, that emotions evolved before other things. It's not entirely true, but it's a pretty good thing there. Okay, great. There's a really good book that I have. It's upstairs in my library right now, but it's Crucial Conversations. And the claim of Crucial Conversations is that you can talk about anything. There's nothing so dangerous you can't talk about it if you know if you make it safe.
Yeah.
And that's a really good book to read too, for all sorts of reasons in life, honestly. Part of the fun thing that I've had about doing these discussions on Reddit is that I get to like be the best version. I'm trying to act out the best version of myself, who gets really, really frustrated, but then does not let that frustration show usually in my, responses on Reddit. Oh, can you, Mike, share my Reddit username, which is Science is Weirder? Somebody had already grabbed Science is Weird. It's like 10 years ago. Hadn't posted
Science
anything.
is weirder?
Yeah, Science is Weirder. If anybody wants to see the work that I'm doing, the engagement that I'm doing there, and connect with me on Reddit, like I'd love to do that. I'm trying to do regular conversations. Sal right now has been the only person who's taking me up on these, and I love him for it. Love him for a lot of reasons, but that's one of them. Just a second. What was I going to say? But I'm trying to get other people, both on the pro evolution side and the pro creation side, to talk to on, like, I don't know, something a weekly basis, and do a live thing or put it up or whatever. So if anybody here is interested in doing that, and especially if they disagree with me, like I'd really love that. Disagreement always makes more interesting conversations.
I got to get on Reddit more often, because you see, you have a totally you have a totally well, you're accessing a totally different world than I am, because I only like I'll get Reddit alerts every now and then, but I very seldom spend any time there. And maybe I want to throw myself in. I know I had a conversation with Sel, and I don't think he knew who he was talking to. And he said to me, he said, "You're the only person who has engaged me on this topic." And he was complimenting me, and I was surprised. And I thought, okay, so he doesn't know who I am on Reddit. So anyway, so I can find you if I go to Reddit and type in Science is Weirder.
Yeah, all one word. I don't actually know how Reddit works for searching users. Yeah, I guess that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Okay.
Before we move on, I wanted to get this post, which is way back. People who think that the reasoning and logic is emotion free are the people who are most influenced by emotions. Now, you said we have to first address this emotional part, and we have to address it in ourselves too, to understand where our emotions are clouding our judgment and clouding what we say and how we interact. So anyway,
scientific origins are a nice point on that. Nice, really wonderfully said. Mike, I'll just like warn you, like, I don't know that you should get on Reddit. I don't get updates from it. I know that I am at risk of it taking over my life, because there is nothing that I so enjoy as showing someone on the internet why they are wrong. Like, I like it more than food and sex and love and the salvation of humanity, right? Like, it's just such a psychological high. So the rules that I've made for myself is that I can only engage on Reddit, even like opening it up. I can't read it. I turn the updates off. I only even read or do anything on it when I am at the gym on a treadmill or on an exercise bike.
Okay,
Which actually is really helped my fitness. So
I have 50,000 posts on these forums. So since 2006, I had 50,000 posts that I did, and I actually lost a job over posting on forums because I got so addicted to it, and it was just so horrible. But 50,000 is a lot of posts.
What forums? Talk origins.
Rational skepticism was the big one. The first one, we started out on Richard Dawkins, and then Richard Dawkins kicked us all out because he didn't like the way we behaved. He called us hooligans, and then we started
Richard Dawkins
another.
Tells you that.
And then we started another forum, and then we ended up with rational skepticism, and it's still going. And I met Kafai. I don't know if you know Kafai, the mushroom guy. I met him on that forum.
No.
So anyway, so I go way back with this posting shit. And I developed my theory of consciousness in public online, basically. So anyway,
That's
Okay.
cool. That's so cool. I mean, in some ways, right? The dream of the internet is alive in Reddit. It's alive in these forums. Like this is like where people get
Yeah.
on and they exchange ideas and they challenge each other and they like it's the dream is real and like I feel like right now I'm actually capitalizing on it. Okay, so let me then run through the rest. Sorry, is it a good idea right now to run through the rest of these?
Yeah, this is a big one here. Build
Sure.
impure coalitions. I'd like you to address that. Are you done with cultivate
Yeah.
relationships?
Yeah. 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 Nuts to relationships. Um. Uh. I so somebody I was posting recently to Reddit saying like what are your most powerful evidences and for evolution like I'll explain that I guess in a couple minutes but someone else shot back that no this is stupid they're not going to listen to us we don't have authority in their community we don't have authority to them we need to be people who are on their side in doing that and I'm like yep you're right. You're totally right. Totally. It's not that I'm wrong, but the guy was totally right. And so, what we need to do, I think, I'm not going to use the word need anymore for three and following. I think the needs are number one and two. But what's really helpful is if we can point to people who are on their side, however they define that. And that's going to be different for different people. But one of the biggest ways that they would say is Bible believing Christians. That's their phrase, and that means something very specific. So, like quoting some Catholics, not helpful. Quoting some Unitarian ministers, anti helpful. But quoting people who they see as on their side, who are actually on our side on whatever the specific issue is that we are talking about. Now, I draw my personal boundaries way different from I think the boundaries that most people in your audience are going to draw theirs. And that's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. It takes all sorts in this. Um, but like I have chosen to make my white whale um, what I refer to as low shelf or bottom shelf young earth creationism, which is the popular kind. Most young earth creationists are this kind of creationist um, that is personified by somebody like Kent Hovind or Ken Ham that denies the
Right.
geologic column, that like really like engages with evidence by saying it's fake.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
isn't the other
Yeah.
side stupid and everyone's lying to you and they're either influenced by Satan or they're just so stupid or
Yeah.
whatever. And I
You
feel
just
like
want to
that,
sin. You just want to sin. That's
I
another
mean,
one.
like, I feel, yeah. Personal experiences. Sin should be more fun than believing in evolution. But I I have no problem. I can't quite say that phrase. I do not choose to go after intelligent design people. I think that's a really interesting conversation that I'm actually going to talk with Sal about in the relatively near future. But like, I'm not taking
Okay.
them as my quarry. I'm not taking old Earth evolutionists as my quarry. I find their beliefs confusing, not even
Well,
threatening or irritating, just like weird. Like, but what's your story
I,
of the
I
Earth?
might be able to clear. I might be able to clear that up for you. I
At some
can
point in the
tell you how to
future,
be a. I can tell you how to be a Christian and an atheist at the same time. Anyway,
let's let's
go ahead.
let's yeah, let's potentially address that later. I'm interested in that. I don't have a hard time with theistic evolutionists. I don't have hard time even with like young Earth creationists. I don't have a hard time with young Earth creationists who agree that who I see who see the scientific evidence accurately. So I think I achieved my most notoriety on the debate evolution subreddit, but which is mostly a bunch of evolutionists like us, by defending and saying like I'm happy to support Dr. Todd Charles Wood, who is a
Yeah.
young Earth creationist. I have his book upstairs called The Challenge. He's like a young Earth creationist, Noah's Ark, literal 6-day creation, blah blah blah. But he says the evidence is against us. Is
He
against
admits
young
that
Earth
he has no
creationists.
reason to believe in it.
He has few scientific reasons to believe
Mm.
in it. And I mean, I think I have issues with that personally, but I'm a rationalist. Like I like am happy to upend my own happy beliefs to more closely adhere to truth. And I understand how weird that is. And if somebody has a philosophy that says like, well, like I don't want to, go along with this, with what seems to be the clear scientific truth, that's fine. That's fine. I probably have situations where I believe things that are against the scientific mainstream, and I think that, or oh no, sorry, let me say that more clearly. That I believe things that are against what the best scientific evidence shows, and I'm just hopeful that the scientific evidence will someday change, and show me that the thing that I hope is true is right. I'm not going to say what any of those are. These are all controversial things. Um, but uh, but that's a legitimate stance that one can take. What's not okay to do intellectually is to pretend that the evidence is all on your side. That's the beginning of the end for oneself as an intellectual.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, I think we should like make friends in these things at the very least. Whenever we say anything, we should be able to say any piece of evidence, or whatever. We should be able to say, "Oh yeah, like Bible believing Christians like Hugh Ross agree with this. Bible believing Christians like Dr. Todd Wood, like are actually arguing this in their book, his book, The Quest. Like C.S. Lewis believed in evolution, and
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of years of evolution, and that is disturbing. Oftentimes, not always, for people on that side,
Yeah.
because they've been told that this is like a simple, equal, even binary: the good people versus the bad people, the believers versus the unbelievers. And if even like I remember when I was a young Earth creationist, when I found out that C.S. Lewis was an evolutionist, like that was a little disturbing to me, and
Yeah.
made it okay, safe
Yeah.
for me to end up believing in evolution.
You familiar with Francis Collins? I think it is the guy. Yeah.
He's the founder of BioLogos and many other more important things beside
Yeah,
Natural
and
Institute of Health, I think.
they really hate him. They really
Yeah,
hate him.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and because he's preaching the devil as far as they're concerned. So anyway,
I mean, so that's some people who really hate him, right? So for those people, like that would not be the relevant thing to bring up. But C.S. Lewis probably is.
yeah,
Dr. Charles Wood, Dr. Todd, sorry, Dr. Wood, if
Todd
you're
Wood.
listening, it's just that
Yeah,
your
Doctor
first
Wood.
two
Yeah,
names could be your first name, and it's always hard for me to remember. Dr. Wood. Let's just say Dr.
yeah.
Wood.
He was he was famous for trying to do this Brahmanology, where
Yeah,
they tried
yeah,
to figure out what the kinds were,
yeah,
and in his
yeah,
book, he pretty much admits that there ain't
yeah,
no way.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's great. It's amazing,
Yeah,
right? Like this is somebody on the other side who's saying that we are right on this, and
yeah,
people are
no,
able to believe him, or at least like even if they say, right? Like I can even imagine a
yeah,
situation where I bring this up, they're like, well, okay, so they paid him off. Yeah, okay, like maybe they're gonna believe that a week from now, but maybe not. Maybe that's the sort of thing that's going to rattle around their head, and they're going to notice more and more that like it's very convenient that they think that anybody who doesn't agree with them on a topic must be like bought off, right? Like at some point, this can begin to even look like a conspiracy theory to the people who are.
yeah, yeah. Are you familiar with Dr. Joel Duff?
No, wait,
Okay,
no, Joel Duff? No, I'm not.
Joel Duff. Yeah, he has a channel. Look
Yeah,
it up on YouTube, and
sure.
he does a lot of fighting back on young Earth creationism, and he is he has a very strong faith in Christianity,
Yeah, I might want
and
to connect with this guy. I'm on his website right
he
now.
he is a cool guy. So, but he does a lot. He does great videos, and he just trashes Ken Ham and that
This
whole
is a
thing, and he's
peer-reviewed
really good.
publication. Flood Geology's Abominable Mystery. Oh, I need to know this guy. I need to buy his books. This is great.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He is great. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh
yeah,
man,
I've been
thanks for
trying to get
this.
him to talk to me, but he's afraid of my name, Answers in Atheism. So anyway,
I
that
remember when I
name
was
and
part of yeah.
the name Answers in Atheism has a hell of a lot to do with what we were talking about with how you could be a secular Christian, that sort of thing, or a evolution believing Christian and all of that. There's
Yeah.
there's a whole lot there. It involves Buddhism and my whole
Yeah.
life basically. But anyway, uh,
I remember when
okay.
I was when I was on the board of Seattle Atheist. I no longer define myself as an atheist. I think of myself as an
Oh,
agnostic first
really?
and foremost.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
you poor soul.
I have no idea what is going on at the highest reaches of reality, man. I don't. Maybe there's a
Oh,
God. Maybe we're
really?
all in a simulation. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Why? I'm a
Maybe I
science
can
teacher,
help
man.
you. Maybe I can bring
But
your faith back. Anyway,
uh, But atheism. I crap. Why did I bring this up? The Seattle Atheists would put on a Darwin Day celebration every year, which I was, spoke at or helped organize or whatever. And one year I gave a talk that's basically condemning our practice of doing Darwin Day,
Oh,
saying that like the
really?
biggest block of people on the other side accepting evolution is that they see it as like the thing that atheists believe. And why might they believe that? Well, maybe because it's like atheist organizations are organizing around Darwin Day. And it's
Yeah.
like this event is the thing that is actually stopping us from achieving our goals.
Yeah, I would
One guy
agree with
being,
that. I would agree with that.
yeah, yeah. We had a fun time. It was good. It was good for the community. Yeah, probably caused a lot more good than harm with that.
Yeah. So this thing, build impure coalitions. You want to
Yeah,
explain
yeah.
that?
Well,
Oh,
that's
is
like
that?
where, yeah, that's the one we haven't talked about. That's one like where I think when I posted this thing of like there's a subreddit post, finally a young Earth creationist I can support. And I should really give some money to him. I've bought some books from people on that side, and his book, of course. But like I should actually probably donate some money to him. But it really pissed people off because like no, don't you understand? Like he's the bad guy. He's icky. He's the enemy. Obviously, they would not
Oh,
say
okay.
those words, but like I really think like it's that kind of tribal belief that is behind
Yeah.
all of this.
Joel Duff would be what you call an
Yeah,
impure coalition, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great for that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't have a problem with that kind of Christianity at all, because it is on an operational day-to-day basis. It is very one and the same with my Buddhism and my spirituality, right?
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
need to talk about beliefs or talk about what happened
yeah,
historically or any of that stuff in
yeah,
in in, in order to do the thing that I do on a daily basis. So anyway,
yeah.
and
Hey, have you
and
read?
the same with them.
I recommended Robert Wright's The Moral Animal: Why We Are the Way We Are: The New Science of Evolutionary Psychology. Have you read his more recent book, Why Evolution is True? I'm a baby. Just a second.
No, but I read
Yes.
that. I read that book back in my early days of posting on Dawkins Forum. So I think
Can I show you my baby
that.
for a second? Because I got a baby.
Oh yeah, I want to see the baby.
Oh,
What kind of baby?
baby.
Oh, it's a real baby.
Ah!
It's a real
No, I
baby.
say hi.
I
You say
thought it was
hi?
gonna be like a I thought it was gonna be like a puppy.
I don't have a puppy. I have a cat. She's not a baby
Yeah.
cat. Is it a thumbs up? Is it
Anyway.
your first ever thumbs up on an online stream?
This is an owie.
Oh, it's an owie. I see.
This is not a banana
An
Because that's why you have a
owie?
bandana under because it's an owie. Yeah, it's an
Oh,
owie. So I
oh
got
my
that going
goodness.
on. Yeah. All
Well,
right, get
that's
the heck out of
cool.
here. Love you. Thanks, hon. Bye, Nora.
Her
Hey, bye to
that's her
everybody.
YouTube debut.
That is her YouTube debut. Everybody here, you got to see it first. Not for the last
What's her
time, I bet.
name? What's her
Nora,
name?
Nora,
Nora.
Nora,
Okay.
Nora. Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Find shared purpose is that next one that's there. I think in some ways this is the most underbaked of them. I should kind of limit out the most, but you got to have some kind of moral goal that you're pursuing. And I feel like the easy one for me these days is society is coming apart. The world is dark. People believe whatever the devil they want to believe. Whatever whatever like the first stupid group to connect with you online, like that is going to be what you believe for the rest of your stinking life. And it's
yeah.
sad and it's frightening.
Yeah.
I see smart
Yep.
people go off in these things, and there's this
Yeah.
hunger for like whatever happened to reality. And I know that my friends on the other side of this topic, like they really care about this, and they're really ticked off actually when people are like, hey, like who cares about this debate? Who cares how old the earth is? Like, no, these
Right.
things
Right.
matter.
Yeah, they
If one
matter.
of us is a
Yeah.
million times off, right? I believe the earth is like 5 billion years old. My friends believe the earth is like more like 5,000 years old, right? Like that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't got nothing else to say about that, actually.
Okay. Yep. If you were wrong about this, would you want to know? Yeah,
No.
being right about science is something that I am all about. I mean, if you're not, if
Mm-hmm.
we don't get that much right, we got a problem
Mm-hmm.
down the road in the pipes, a real problem, because it affects everything. basically.
Yeah. I think that line, I'm working on right now on the idea that line, if you were wrong about this, would you want to know, is actually, as I start to do these more and more of these conversations with with creationists and other people too who believe other various things. Oh my gosh, is that Scott?
That's Scott.
That
Yes.
is Scott.
Scott!
Sorry for being late.
Wonderful to have you here.
Hold on. My son asked me to watch my granddaughter all by myself, just she and I never get one-on-one time with her. So there was a Scott-shaped hole in the door as soon as he asked, and I totally forgot about having a thing today.
Scott, putting human relationships above arguing with people on the internet. I don't even know who you are anymore.
I know.
Yeah, I know. What the hell is up with it? Yeah. I'm gonna throw him. I'm gonna throw him out of the studio. But he keeps coming back though.
Yeah, he's too lazy to rescind all his authentication and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep. So, did you want to address the rest of this before we get off on other things?
Yeah.
Curiosity.
Yeah. So
okay, let me go back
areas.
to.
Sure.
Let me go back to this format. That format. Okay.
So Spark Curiosity is the one that actually I feel like I probably have the most personally to offer to the community who wants to actually start winning, wants to start convincing younger creationists up in this LC. It's because this is sort of what I do. This is like my job as a teacher. I am really, I don't know, irritated is actually overstating it. Okay, gut sick Gibbon. She does great work. She's one of like the shining stars of our community.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to offer like what is like, I'm going to frame it as a critique, but like it's not actually a critique. And I can't critique that woman. She's amazing. She's also kind and nice, which is just so wonderful. But I see her and so many other people like her who get involved in these very complex arguments about, honestly, I can't even remember them because they're so far above my head. She's so smart and I'm so stupid when it comes to all things like this. But about things that like my memory chunks as information theory in genetics. And I feel like I don't have, I would have to be so much better educated and frankly probably have a much higher GPA. IQ to understand that sort of topic at a deep enough level in order for someone to be able to use an argument from that topic to be able to actually change my beliefs in something else. And I'm a flippin' science teacher, right? Like much more knowledge about this sort of thing than the average bear. So this is my way of saying that if we want to change people's minds on things, like we should not get bound up in conversations on like these really recherche, high-level abstractions. Instead, we should find simple questions that already rely only on things that people already know about the world, but put clearly the fact that their views of the world do not actually line up with one another already.
Yeah.
So my favorite one is dinosaur tracks or any kind of fossilized footsteps.
Yes, what you did with Cell on episode 5, I think.
Yeah, losing track of numbers. That's right.
Did you feel that you made any headway with him? That he responded? Did he responded to you?
He responded so graciously and in the best way that he could, which is like, wow, those are really good points, and I don't know the answer.
I think he evaded you totally.
It's interesting.
He threw out that one thing, the Colorado mine experiment or whatever, which has no backing, whatever. It didn't even happen at that institution. What they did, and it was just, it's like he threw that out, and then he kind of like went over everything that you presented to him, and I think he forgot about it immediately. And that's a problem.
I will say that I wasn't sure how the Colorado mine thing, how that related to what I was saying, but this is like where friendship comes in, right? Yeah. Naturally, I know that when I have been believing things that I now understand to be wrong, and somebody, pointed out something that just did not make sense what I was saying, like my mind rejected it. It's hard to hold on to that. And this is where like this is where I really value having friends who are willing to point me to consistently, yeah, again and again, like the things that don't make sense about my beliefs. And so,
Right.
I think it's the best that can be done with this sort of thing. Um, Young Earth creationists. Like, one of the reasons I became Young Earth creationist was because of this total nonsense argument. Of just human and dinosaur footsteps in the Paluxy River outside of Glen Rose, Texas, which I've now been to, and my gosh, it's so cool. There's this Young Earth Creationist museum that's like right next to there because this is a big deal for them. What they don't ask themselves is, but then how are their footprints in the ground if those layers were laid down in the Great Flood? Okay, so they actually have an answer to that because no one thinks about this, but they've thought about it, and their answer is like, well, sorry, I'm forgetting the exact answer, but it's something like, this was one of like the original layers of ground and all the flood rocks were above it. Great, fine, wonderful, except you can find fossilized footprints in all of the layers of rock.
Right. Yeah. How did that happen?
I literally have in the other room. Can I show here? Can I run for a second and grab something for you? Because it's the thing that I own that I'm the most proud of. Be right back.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, this is heavy. Okay. So this is, you know what? And I have it. You can't even see it, but maybe you can see the footprints on here, can you? So this is from the This is from the Cambrian. This is Cambrian age rock. You can see the little footprints going across it. Bad light for this. I could get some even starker relief.
Wow.
This was given to me by the paleontologist Kenneth Gass, who helped do the initial find and the excavation and the description of and all that. I can never remember the name of this. Oh, I have it right here. Proticnites, which is not the name of an animal. It's the name of these prints. But they are, I think, still understood to be the oldest footprints that we have. They're from the Cambrian. They're from some kind of
right.
Yeah, they're from some kind of bug that crawled on, and he took me to the site where they found these at. I got photographs of it. It's so cool. And he gave me a chunk of it as a gift. So anyway, we find things from the Cambrian all the way up to the Eocene, which have these footprints in them. Okay.
Yeah.
If you think that any of these layers come from one giant global flood, how do you have all these footprints that are in them? That makes no sense. I've never gotten an answer from anybody about
it. Has to be like one of the models claims that there were these tsunamis that were 700 feet high and coming at 500 miles an hour onto the land, and then they went away, and then they came back. So did the dinosaurs just all of a sudden start running around in between? It's like I don't know what they think. I don't think they think that through too carefully, and that's what I mean by Cell shut you off. He shut off the bell to his mind during that broadcast in the last half, and he did it right around the point where he brought up that Colorado mining mythology, about the sedimentation work they did. Anyway,
I mean, I think that even draws our attention to what's even more difficult is that when Paul, my apologies, I swallowed something wrong. The conversations that I'm lucky enough to be doing with Sal, he my understanding is like he gets financial support from people who are wanting him to go and have, fight the good fight for Young Earth creationism.
Yep, there you go.
So
I think scientific origins are talking about money.
I mean, it's always hard to change one's belief. It's so much harder to change one's beliefs when one is doing it in public, which is why I've not yet found anybody else. Pardon my hiccups, how embarrassing. To do these conversations, any of the Young Earth creationists to do these conversations with me yet. But for somebody like Sal to do it, like that's so dangerous. it's part of why I'm so thankful for him to do that. Like, if he changes his mind, like he's out in income or something. I don't know his personal details on this. It seems awkward to talk about. So, what can we expect from people when they do that? We should understand like what kind of psychological pressures, what their psychological reality is with that, their financial reality is with that.
Well, if they would pay me $180,000 a year, that's my price point. At $180K a year, I would become a young Earth creationist, and I would put forth all my knowledge and support their effort, and I would do that for that $180K a year. And I would like
everybody has their price. I'm glad that you're honest about yours.
I have a price. I have a price.
Oddly specific.
Very specific. Yeah. That was my last consulting job, so I thought I should.
So my proposal for the community, this is never going to go anywhere or whatever, right? But like, is that we actually try to crowdsource these, try to figure out like what are the best questions, how are the best way we can put it. This is something that that Peter Boghossian does in How to Have Impossible Conversations, and West's manual for creating atheists, where he kind of has these and like walks you through like the conversation. I think I'm making some of this up. I'm misremembering this. I'm actually maybe remembering this back to my evangelical Christian days, where I would read books or whatever that would say, okay, like here's how you can have this conversation, ask about like this evidence for Jesus' resurrection or something like that. And like if they say this, well, here's kind of like the response. See this, here's the response. If you go this way and they have this kind of response, okay, here's how you can respond with that, whatever. We kind of come up with things like that. And we can do it, if we do it openly, we can do it, I don't know, I think ethically. Don't want to use people. But we can do it in a way that then actually helps people do this well. It sticks to the main point of these things, tells true things, so we don't get people making up facts or whatever, and helps everybody learn a lot more about science. You should know that I should not be the person to lead this because I can't even spell the word Cretaceous or Antarctica correctly. My goodness.
Did you?
Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Too?
Thanks for having me on this, Mike. I obviously am not worthy to be on your program.
Oh, Criticus. Okay. Oh, let's highlight that. Okay, I fixed it for you.
Comes from a German word means shock.
Well, when you're typing, you make typing errors. It was just typing error, wasn't it? Yeah. Wasn't
Antarctica is the anti-Arctica.
Anti-Arctica. So did you have more in the document? Oh, go ahead, Scott.
There is a link I put in private chat as well as in the side chat. You were mentioning the tracks. You were mentioning kind of the credibility issue that Christians will have with dealing with science, evolutionary science. This is a Joel Duff video. Young Earth scientist published a paper, and it destroys flood geology. Dr. Joel Duff. It was a team of scientists from a Seventh-day Adventist institution that excavated a very large trackway of dinosaurs that included bird tracks as well as dinosaur tracks as well as tail drag marks. It was over, they assessed it over as being over several, million years. They assessed it as being along the ocean, not running away from it. It's a very interesting video. He did a follow-up video later, but that kind of ties into what you were talking about in terms of finding things from people who are Christians or are young Earth creationists that support the evolutionary geology.
And this is new. This is just from 2 weeks ago. I gotta watch this. Thank you.
Yeah, if you go through his, you'll lose a lot of time. You need to schedule a lot of time to be going through Joel Duff's material. Like he did an entire study of the geology of the Dead Sea, which was just amazing.
Was it like 8 parts or something where he did the geology and showed that
I don't know how much of it was actually counter anything. It was just this is the geological history of the Dead Sea and surrounding areas, and it's just he does a great job. He is a amazing science communicator.
Yeah.
The Mike, the
So
only other things that I have in this, and then I gotta go, are the sixth one I said was we need ways of creating. I won't say the word need. I think it would help us to have ways to create excitement. My shtick for which is to say, like kind of like some kind of projects that people in the community can work on together. I've talked
yeah,
about this before, but I've been running a series of contests to get people
yeah,
to I don't know, make the best arguments for young Earth creationism. The first one was, what is the one piece of evidence that is the biggest problem for evolution to explain? Nobody entered that. Nobody collected the $100. I would have given $100 if somebody would have put up a YouTube short with that tag on it that said,
yeah,
it's my dog, right? Like, great. I would have literally cut $100 check out of my own money, sent it to somebody, because if I'm going to offer $100 for the best one and there's only one, yeah, I am honor bound to commit to that. The next one is the end of January 30th, 2026. The contest is, what is the best young Earth model? What is the flood model for making sense of how you get the geologic column? How you have all the dinosaurs and like in the middle layers, and the big mammals in the layer layers, and the weird fish buggy things in the earlier layers. How do you get no T-Rexes in the Jurassic, no Stegosauruses in the Cretaceous, right? That sort of thing. And there are models, like you mentioned one of them. There's another one that's really weird. It's this floating mats forest thing, where like the different layers of the earth, like the Jurassic one was like one giant floating piece of seaweed or something. I'm trying to understand more about this, and I haven't yet found
okay.
this. But this is great. This is inventive. This is exactly the kind of weird crap that we should be encouraging.
So who's doing the floating mat? Who's doing the floating mat thing?
I think I heard about it in Answers in Genesis.
Okay, because the strange thing is, evolutionists. I hate using that word. I know Austin just.
I like it.
I know. I hate that. I hate it too,
like
Scott.
Evolutionary scientists, just scientists in many areas have advocated that, like in cases of major hurricanes and storms, that animals might have migrated to an isolated island on mats of vegetation that had been basically just caught up and twisted up together, and they were floating on it. And then the creationists would make fun of that notion. Like,
they call it
it sounds stupid.
Surfing monkeys or whatever.
Yeah, they would call it the surfing monkey theory.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
but now you have creationists who are proposing surfing monkeys or surfing whatever.
Right. When it serves them, they're all in, right? But
but like that's the but yeah, sure, right? Like that's to be expected between tribe and kind of tribal fight. And the truth oftentimes sounds bizarre. And so when those people on our side say, mock how stupid these young Earth creationist beliefs sound with this floating mat idea, I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't matter that it sounds stupid. That's not how science works. Right. Science of evidence, and oftentimes like science has resisted for too long true theories because they sounded stupid. So yeah. I feel like that does not bound well to does not redound well to our side, that we are making fun of people having stupid sounding ideas. So anyway, I'll give $100 to anybody who wants to do this, and if they have the best one, if they have the best one. So maybe $100. You do not have to be a young Earth creationist to enter this. I'll make a response video, but nice kind of response video. But I really want to engage with the best part of the other side. My thoughts on this is that if we wanted to make this a bigger deal, one, it wouldn't just be me doing it, because nobody even mentioned the first one. We do them regularly. We find ways of advertising in the young Earth creationist community, and then maybe we even crowdsource to make it a bigger prize, not just $100, but like $1,000 or something like that.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. What do you have at the end here? Tell true stories. We should learn.
Well, you mentioned that the younger. Sorry.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, so Scott, I think you mentioned Seventh-day Adventism, right, a few minutes ago. Most young Earth creationists, I think the easy assumption for them about like where young Earth creationism comes from is, it's like the thing that Christians have always believed. No, that is not the case. That is not true. St. Augustine was mocking people who said things like that back in the 300s, 500s. Oh my gosh, I should know. Flipping St. Augustine, it's the 500s. But modern young Earth creationism is not like an original fundamentalist belief. The people the people who like invented Christian fundamentalism, like what 1905, 6, whatever, the publication of their book. Oh, is that Ronald Numbers' book? The
Yep,
Creationists.
yep.
It's so
Yeah.
good. It's such a
Yeah.
great book. I have it at work
Yeah.
right now. It's one of my favorite books.
Yeah, he
well
talks
written.
about this. This thing really started to gain steam in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Prior
yeah,
to that,
yeah.
it wasn't that big a deal.
I think
So, yeah, this is a good book.
1924, 1925 was the publication of George McCready Price's book, The New Geology, where he, a Seventh-day Adventist, took this idea, which he was it was a dogmatic belief at the time for Seventh-day Adventists, because the founder of Seventh-day Adventism had a personal revelation where God took her, I think this is the phrase, to the creation, to see the actual like events of the opening chapters of Genesis. And so she recounts these things, and this is actually part of why Seventh-day Adventism is so serious about taking Saturday as the Sabbath, because it was
So
the
she's the
literal
only one that
Sabbath
can
day.
answer Ray Comfort's question. Were you there?
Did Ray Comfort have does Ray Comfort have an accent? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, he's Australian. Yeah.
I think I heard that at one point. He doesn't write with an accent. I read one of his books when I was a high schooler. But like this idea that like young Earth creationism comes from like a woman getting I'm using the gender term. I'm using a gender there for a reason, I promise. A woman getting a private religious revelation that added to our knowledge of Scripture, not just interpreting Scripture, and that should then be dogmatic because of that, is very problematic for lots of fundamentalists.
Yeah.
Not that they're misogynists necessarily or anything like that. I'm not making some kind of strong claim there, at least.
Yeah.
Not at least. But like they don't want that to be the beginning of Earth creationism. They really don't. There's a reason that when Henry Morris Sr. in 1964 or whatever wrote his book on what the rocks on, I'm getting the name of the book wrong, but where he really kicked off young Earth creationism in the evangelical Protestant context, he hid the fact that he got these ideas, all of his arguments, most of his arguments, from George McCready Price, the Seventh-day Adventist kind of nutball, who like thought that chimpanzees were a degenerate form of humanity.
Yeah.
Right? Like George McCready Price is not who you want to be citing for anything.
Right.
Yeah. So we actually kind of uncover that story, and people in our community, right, like know this. Like I've run across at least one other reference to Ronald Numbers book on the subreddit. But most people don't know this. Most young Earth creationists don't know this. And should be the sort of thing that we do a lot of. Okay. Hi. This is my stance. I feel like Scott, Mike, that if we did this or something like this, we can make this a lot better, obviously. We could win. I say this ironically, kind of not ironically, right? We could do the thing that everyone says they want to do. My fear is that people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
My fear is that people actually want to have fun bashing people on the internet.
That's not what I want to do.
Outrage is kind of like a drug.
Yeah.
Rage and outrage.
I would love to do like one video and have just one topic and explain the science in a very, very understandable form, kind of quickly, and go through, and then have a creationist come on and stick to that one topic while looking at, if we're going to dig into that one topic, if they have a critique, then I want to see the papers. I want to see their evidence. I want to see where they got this from. I don't want to hear that AIG had a blog 20 years ago that, basically disproved this or debunked. They love the word debunked. Like bullshit. Let's debunk it live. If you can actually push back against us, let's do it. But I'd love to do that and have decent conversations with people. Hardly any Christian will ever come on my channel, and I have no idea why. Because
I have no idea why. It's like on the atheist experience.
Yeah, every time we've had a Christian on, we have been so polite with them, and we've been so kind, and we have not ever been nasty to anybody that's come on the channel, and I don't get it.
Well,
Oh,
maybe
oh, yeah.
Otangelo after the first few
Oh,
encounters.
yeah. Well, Otangelo. I don't know if you know Otangelo, but man. Oh, he isn't posting that Reddit forum. I'm surprised. I bet he does as, I don't know, what is it, a Pishala, or what is that weird name that he anyway. But yeah.
I mean, you could pay them. You could crowdsource. Like $10
Yeah.
is some amount of money. It's $20 for an hour of your time, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I had an online, like a 3 hour long conversation with Mark Sargent, who's I don't know, he's the most famous flat earther, and
Oh, yeah.
I paid him $100.
Oh, wow.
I really wanted to have that conversation, and he didn't
Wow.
demand $100. I just I emailed him, and I said, "Hey, I'll pay you $100 if I can have a really good conversation with you." He's like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not rich. I just really,
Yeah.
I existentially needed to have this conversation some number of years ago, and I got a really great recording out of it. And actually, because of that, I have some homeschoolers, some secular homeschoolers. I work mostly in the secular homeschooling community, who believe that I am a flat earther because I had this really nice conversation with this guy, which is like,
Oh, no.
great. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, if that's what it costs me, I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
I'm willing to make one of my values that I will have conversations with people that you might not like. Nice conversations where I don't just go on to debunk them, right? And in order to show that it's a value, I have to be willing to give something up more than $100. If I'm willing to give a bunch of new students for it, because this is the way that we should be living. This is the way that science should be done. This is the way that kids can become smart. Talking to people they disagree with and having good conversations. Here, before I run, can we swing back to? Sorry, I wasn't trying to put some sort of word in there. That thing that you highlighted in red, because this is maybe where we may mostly disagree on.
Oh, that was a thing about pushing back on.
Yeah.
Basically, being shitty to our own community and we don't want to do this infighting thing, right? We dish out scorn on dicks on our own side, right? That thing. Right.
So, okay, here's what I will happily agree to right now. Maybe you can push me even further than this. I think that you're right that what we should do should be scorn free. I highly agree with that. You have shown me the light. I was wrong about that. I am not as worried as you about creating division on our side, because, well, if there's a choice between having a small group of people who is actually doing all of the work and getting the work done, but there's a division, and that's option A, and option B is there's no division, but none of the work ever gets done, we don't win.
Yeah.
Then, okay, give me option A any day. But I feel like there are ways of achieving the having the dicks not being able to win, not being able to carry the day. That does not mean scorn, right? It does not mean scorning them or even criticizing them. Like on paper, well, on Pixels, the debate evolution subreddit demands really polite engagement. In practice,
which one is that?
Oh, the only one that I'm actually engaged in, the debate evolution subreddit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's mixed. In practice, it's mixed. Or if it's not mixed, then their expectations for what high level engagement is or polite engagement is are very different than anything that I think is actually effective. So I don't know if somebody actually wanted to start a new subreddit, even, right? It's like the highest kind of goal for this. And make those the norms, and just say, okay, we're going to delete any post, right? It's not we're not going to shame you, we're not going to scorn you. On my blog, on my Substack, right? If anybody is even the slightest bit rude toward anybody else, F you, you're
block
gone.
them, yeah.
You're blocked. And honestly, what I usually do is I delete it immediately. I copy it, I delete it, and then I send it to them again, so they don't have to retype the entire thing, right? This is me doing a service for them, and say hey, this didn't meet what we require for this because of these reasons. If you'd like to retype this, I'd be happy to let you put it up again. And then if they break, no one's ever broken that again. But if they do, okay, fine, it's great. Yeah, how is that as a compromise?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that works. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I like that. Let me just say that like I have like I'm trying to in my real life like reinvent education. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's taking up all my time. So like I don't want anyone to watch this and think, oh, Brandon, he's going to do this thing. No, I am not going to do this thing. I
You don't
don't.
have time.
This is like way more time than I
Yeah.
have even right now for doing this.
Yeah.
My wife is
Well,
angry at me
actually,
upstairs that are not. Yeah.
By the time this administration is done with what they want to do, you're going to have to invent education.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not going to get political, but I'm not going to openly disagree with you either.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to like help do this thing or wants my help in doing any of these things, I would love to do it. If anybody has like, $10,000 and like wants to like pay to like make like a nice YouTube channel that will do this wonderfully and well, right? Like that
Yeah.
I can help with, right? Like have nicely edited videos or whatever. Like, yes, I would love to work on that project with you.
Yeah. Do you well, yeah, we can talk about this off screen a little bit, but for just a minute I have a question about that.
Sure.
But yeah, have you looked at that world of carbon and world of nitrogen idea and thought about if you could
I can't remember if I found it. Do you have the PDFs? I've been trying to find. Sorry. So the backstory of this, everybody, is that
I
Mike
do.
said that
I can
he loved the
send
books
them
by
to you.
Isaac Asimov, World of Carbon and World of Nitrogen. It spent like 20 minutes, like trying to find these books. Like there's like $150 version online or whatever. Maybe I found the PDF of it. I spent some time trying to. Maybe I ended up finding it.
There are PDFs out there now. But anyway, if you could teach organic chemistry to sixth graders, it
Kinda
would be
do.
awesome.
I mean, it's kind of
Yeah,
what
oh,
science
good.
is does.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Organic rather than and chemistry is so dry in high school, and it's just done
Yeah.
so badly that
Yeah.
it turns everybody off.
Yeah.
And the way to turn them on is to start them with organic, because that is where the world arises. So it's
Well,
wonderful.
can I
Anyway.
tell you that my actually personal recommendation for this is the company Biochemistry Literacy for Kids, done by a guy named Dan, who's an acquaintance of mine. He works at this, one of these like really fancy private boarding schools or something like this in the I'll put the link in on the East Coast, but he runs a company teaching online that some of the students who are in science as weird love. And he probably does more what you were looking for with this. I teach what is
Okay.
accurately called biochemistry, but not in the way that maybe you're thinking of it. But his
Can you give me a link?
Yeah, I just put it in the chat, in the private chat.
Oh, you put it in chat. Okay.
Yeah, but for everyone who's listening, it's biochemistryliteracyforkids.com.
Yeah, let me make sure that goes in the comments. Let's see, and the description. Okay, cool. Okay.
All right.
Well,
I've got to go. Hey, thanks, Mike. Scott, this has been wonderful. Scott, always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to chat with you a little.
Yeah. Mike, always a great pleasure talking with you too, of course. As that said.
Okay, we're going to end. Goodbye, cruel world.
Bye, cruel world.